Hello and welcome again to our wellness series. I trust that you've been enjoying this time together as we talk about the wellness of the body, mind, and soul, because that's who we really are. And today we're going to be focusing on the wellness of mind. You know, we're talking about anxiety, we're talking about depression, we're talking about things that kind of overwhelm us, and sometimes we don't realize it. Not that we're looking out to be depressed or being anxious, but it kind of suddenly takes control of us. And today we're going to be seeing how we can actually live a life of wellness, overcoming these situations. First of all, the Bible says, casting all your anxieties, your cares, your fears in the sight of God, and come to God with thanksgiving. In other words, when we come to God, we believe that God is going to take care of it. And before we are leaving our problems and our anxieties before God, we say, God, you are going to do it, and I thank you for it. Many of people think that we are all immune to depression, but that is not true. The Bible does not say that. The Bible in fact says that we can get out of it and we don't have to go even into depression. Jesus said, look at the fields, look at the birds. And he says, by worry, you cannot even add one single day to your life. And you know, when you look at those scriptures, you begin to realize that God is actually telling you, it's all right. It's going to be all right. Don't worry. In our mind, sometimes things play which are not even real. That's how fears develop. Fears are unrealistic things that come into our heart and then begin to play on our mind, and we begin to imagine what can happen. You know, sometimes we are so fearful of the future that people end up committing suicide or getting into addictions, and that addiction then affects their body. In fact, if you see the medical science, it says a lot of our physical issues are connected with our mental issues. The Bible also says, don't be anxious about anything. You know, it's such important for us to realize what the Bible says in the book of Proverbs. It says, anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. You know, today you may be fearful, you may be anxious. And just like I'm encouraging you that to live in the wellness of life, a complete wellness requires the wellness of the mind. You may come across people who are fearful themselves. Today you may encounter a person who is depressed and discouraged and even to the point of taking their own life, committing suicide. But just one kind word, just one pat on their back and to say, you know, it's going to be all right. You may not have all the solutions, you may not have all the answers, but that act of kindness, that's what the Bible says, but a kind word cheers up. Kind word cheers up. So let's look out for people, because today the greatest thing that the people are encountering is not the lack of money, it's not the sickness, it's not many other things, but just fear that is gripping people because they can't hold their mind right. They can't understand that the wellness of mind depends upon everything else. So I challenge you today, as we come to the conclusion of this episode here, or this session here, I want you to understand that God's purposes for your life are much greater than what you expect. Expect great things for God and keep a healthy mind.